Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles of GMS. I'd like to say salutations to all of the sincere Akin worldwide. Brothers, stay strong. The purpose of this sit down is a reminder to myself, but also to all, an exhortation to all brothers about the importance of the brotherhood, because at the end of the day, the brotherhood is all that we have. We are all that we have in this truth, because anyone that's outside of the doctrine of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in all honesty, is a heathen. It doesn't matter how close those people are to you. It doesn't matter how, seemingly good they are to you. Ultimately, the Most High will save men that are good to the prophets, of course, within reason. But ultimately, if a man's not in the truth of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, man, if he's preaching another Jesus, if he doesn't believe, hey, there's a probability that he won't make it, man. Obviously, if you got people in your life that are supporting you, holding you down, the Most High might have mercy on them off the back of off the back of your diligence and the fact that they've shown mercy and love to the Lord willing a potential man of the Lord. But ultimately, man, a lot of these people out here that ain't in the faith ain't gonna make it, man, because they ain't got the knowledge of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. But the brothers do, man. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Azar, we be all members of the elect. And at the end of the day, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And sometimes on a marathon, you go through weak points. But that's why you need the brotherhood. That's why you need your friends, your genuine family around you to keep you pushing. Now, I'm going to start with this. Psalms 100, and I'm going to start from 133. So and 1, it's the Song of David, yeah, and it says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." That's straight into the point, because at the end of the day, when brothers are dwelling in unity, not only do we soothe our wounds, as it were, spiritually, man, but we also grow together. Brothers learn from each other. 1 second. Yeah, so we learn from each other. We're able to grow and develop each other. It's a beautiful unit. Verse 2 says, "It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirt of his garments." So brotherly love is like precious ointment, man. Honestly speaking, it's so beautiful and important, man, for brothers to come together and congregate. It says, "As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion, for there the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai commanded the blessing, even life forevermore." So ultimately, man, the scripture is basically emphasizing that it's a boundless blessing, man, when righteous brethren are together. Because at the end of the day, man, the only way that we're going to make it out is through the brotherhood. You got to understand that. Brothers always have to understand that, the brotherhood is everything. Honestly speaking. And now you got to also remember that your brotherhood is only the men and women, of course, that are in the truth, man. Because at the end of the day, like I emphasized at the beginning of this sit down, not everyone is your brother, man. Yahweh Shai himself outlined the criteria, and I'm going to get into that right now in Matthew's the 12th chapter and the 46th verse. It says, "While he yet spoke to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him." So in this particular chapter, Yahweh Shai was out there preaching, to the masses of Israel, and his biological mother and his brothers, came, then, from you can extrapolate that this was the two brothers more than likely that weren't, in the truth, because Yahweh Shai had two brothers in the truth and two brothers that weren't necessarily down with it. So they were out there by the side, desiring to wait to speak to him. And one man came up to him, and this is in verse 47. "Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee." So while Yahweh Shai was prophesying and preaching, someone got his attention and said, "Master, Rabbi, your mother and your brother are by the side waiting to talk to you." And verse 48 said, "But he answered and said unto him that told him." So this is Yahweh Shai's response. "Who is my mother and who are my brethren?" and he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples. So you can imagine his mother and his brother were stood at a certain point, and he would have looked at the man that said that to him, and he stretched forth his hand in the other direction towards his apostles and disciples, and he said, "Behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother." So ultimately, your true family are them that do the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that's the beauty of this thing, because at the end of the day, we're all one body, man. Brothers will sometimes have disagreements. Brothers will sometimes, have isms and schisms, but we're one body. And if you're training your body to do a perfect fly kick, for example, you got to have the leg that pushes everything into projection, that pushes your body into projection, ready to jump, man. You can't have it where you're trying to do a kick and then the leg that you're going to use to push yourself up ain't ready to move, man, because then ultimately, it ain't going to work. You're going to kick, but it ain't going to have the same force in it. Everything has to work in conjunction, man. And the only way that's going to work is if the whole body operates as one, man, and it's a perfect understanding. That's why it's important for brothers to come together, like the apostles said. It's important because at the end of the day, we build our spiritual connection that way. Hey, I'm going to read John 21:17, when Yahushua was speaking to Peter, the head disciple, or Simon Peter, he's known as in the scriptures also. He said unto him the third time, so Yahushua would ask Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" And Peter got frustrated the third time, and he said, "Of course I do." And let's get into it. He said unto him the third time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, "Lovest thou me?" And he said unto him, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." Yahushua said unto him, "Feed my sheep." Yeah? So honestly speaking, Yahushua only requires us to feed the elects, man, to teach other brothers, man, using our talents, pursuing to Matthew the 25th chapter, growing brothers, man. Because at the end of the day, we're nothing without the brotherhood. We're nothing without Yahushua primarily, but the brotherhood is what keeps us together. The brotherhood is what holds us down. You see, the Christians, they've got their wicked congregations out there. So has Islam, the Muslims and that, Muslim Jakes. But at the end of the day, there's a small sanctuary when it comes to the truth. We're all that we have, man. In the whole of London, there's about 20-25 men, man, that are actually holding it down at this present moment in time. Of course, more than likely, there's thousands of elects in a city as big as London. But at this moment in time, before the 11th hour is fully upon us, man, we're all that we got. Yeah? That's why it says in Matthew 23:11, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant." Yeah? And that just goes into the fact that ultimately, all our righteousness is as filthy rags. We're all as low as one another, man. That's why a man can come in at the 11th hour and he gonna receive the same reward as a man that has been putting in work from day dot. Of course, there's gonna be rank in the kingdom, of course, but ultimately, all Israel's gonna share in the blessings. All of the elect are gonna share in the first resurrection. You know what I mean? There's gonna be rank, but we all gonna get ultimately the same blessing, regardless of if a man came in so-called last minute or has been there riding from the start, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua ordained everything, man, and he's got it set up the way he's got it set up for a reason. His thoughts are not our thoughts to consider. Yeah. Now, it's important for brothers as well, I'm gonna say, to show love to each other, because ultimately, like I just read, the greatest amongst the brethren should all be the most humble, man, because at the end of the day, you know what it requires, you know what it takes. I apply that to myself, and I see it with all the brothers that are above me, man. Ultimately, very humble individuals. Now, the reason why it's important is because if you read Matthew 25:34, funny, I just quoted that, it's a beautiful chapter with a lot of good parables in there. But it says in verse 34, "Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand." So this is after Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, or Yahushua ultimately comes down and separates the nations, man. He's going to have the wicked on the left and the righteous on the right. And then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, "Come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungered and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in." And it goes on, in verse 37, because I'm just sticking to the point, because my memory on this phone is fucked. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? Etc. And it goes on, it goes on. And the king, verse 40, and the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of these least of my brethren, you have done it unto me. So ultimately, hey, the way that you treat the brotherhood, yeah, is the way that you're ultimately treating your Yahweh Yahweh Shai, because we're all representations of the Lord on this side, man. You know, the way you treat a man, it's the same way you treat Yahweh Shai. If you see your brother down and you help lift them up, you help uplift him, you help keep him in the spirit, amen, you doing the same for your Yahweh Shai, because even Yahweh Shai had to be consoled by the disciples every now and then. You know, he prayed to the Lord, man. He had to pray for the angels to come. The angels came to minister unto him, and they strengthened him. There's ultimately strength in numbers, man. Whether, even if it's a small sanctuary. That's why brothers got to stick to the precepts, man, on brotherhood, you know. Proverbs 27:17 is another good one. As iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. It's all about being together, man. All about togetherness, because without the brotherhood, we ain't gonna make it out here, man. No man can walk this path alone. You need the brotherhood. Now, I'm gonna finish it up with 1 Corinthians 12:12. It says, For as the body is one, so like I mentioned earlier, you know, you need every member in the body to be working and have many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Mashiach. So ultimately, you know, in your body, you got your arm, you got your fingers in the arm, you got your thumb. Like, for you to be able to make a firm grip, you need your pinky finger, man. Your pinky finger is ultimately important, because without that, you can't make a good grip, or your thumb also. But if you're trying to grab and your thumb ain't trying to, you know, clench in with the fist with the rest of the fingers, then it just ain't gonna work. If you try and jump and then your feet, you know, your muscles, man, your triceps ain't working, hey, it's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. So at the end of the day, man, honestly, man, you got to fight, man. It says, for by one spirit are we all baptized into one body. Talking about Israelites, of course, whether we be Jews or Gentiles. And that's Gentiles as in the Jews, where the southern kingdom that were living, keeping the law throughout the time of the Roman Empire, and the Gentiles were Israelite foreigners. That's another lesson. But anyway, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, an eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now the Most High has set the members, every one of them in the body, as it has pleased him. You know? And if we were all one member, where were the body? But now they are many members, yet but one body. Hey, it goes beautifully in. It says, and the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, as much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. Hey, I mean, you know, read the whole chapter. It's good, man. You know, we're all necessary, man. Every brother, from the man holding the signs to the man out there in the forefront speaking, every brother's important, and we're all key to this ministry. I'm going to leave it there, Akim. Hope it was edifying. Shalom.